I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Okay, we're going to swear in a police officer. Go ahead, Mayor.
Okay. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, James W. Gray III,
I, James W. Gray III,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the laws of the Charter of the City of Wickliffe,
and the laws of the charters of the City of Wickliffe,
and that I will, in all respects,
and that I will, in all respects,
faithfully discharge my duties
faithfully discharge my duties
as a patrolman
as a patrolman
of the City of Wickliffe Police Department
in the City of Wickliffe Police Department
during my continuance in said office.
in my continuance of said office.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. Okay, I call to order the Wickliffe City Council meeting of October 14th, 2024. Sandy, please call the roll.
Bala.
Here.
Gerhardstein.
Here.
Jaworski.
Here.
Koski. Here. Levon.
Here.
Saloto. Here. Thielman.
Here.
Approval of council minutes. Councilman Gerhardstein.
I make a motion that we allow Councilman Bell to abstain from voting the council meeting minutes from September 23rd, 2024.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerhardstein, second by Councilman Thielman, to allow Councilman Bala to abstain from voting on the meeting minutes of September 23rd, 2024. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Bala.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Koski. Yes. Levon.
Yes.
Saloto. Yes. Thielman.
Yes.
I make a motion we approve the council meeting minutes from September 23rd, 2024.
Moved by Councilman Gerhardstein, second by Councilwoman Saloto, that the council meeting minutes of September 23rd, 2024 be approved as presented. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Bala.
Abstain.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Koski. Yes. Levon.
Yes.
Saloto. Yes. Thielman.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to move up, I think I entertain a motion to move Resolution 2024-16 up to the next item on the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerhardstein, second by Councilman Jaworski to move Resolution 2024-16 to the next item on the agenda. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Bala.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Koski. Yes. Levon.
Yes.
Saloto. Yes. Thielman.
Yes.
Go ahead, Law Director.
Resolution number 2024-16, a resolution recognizing Doris Polzer on her retirement from the Finance Department of the City of Wickliffe, Ohio, commending her for dedicated service and wishing her good fortune and declaring an emergency. Whereas Doris Polzer has served the City of Wickliffe in the Finance Department for 21 years, and whereas Ms. Polzer was born in Cleveland, Ohio, her family moved to Wickliffe when she was 6 months old. This lifelong Wickliffe resident attended Our Lady of Mount Carmel School, then Wickliffe Junior High and Wickliffe Senior High Schools. After graduating from Wickliffe, attended Lakeland Community College with a focus on photography and art. Excuse me. And whereas Doris's career began at Gold Circle in Willoughby Hills, Ohio, where she worked for 4 years as a cashier, Doris was then hired by Lake County National Bank, which eventually became Chase Bank, in Wickliffe, where she worked for 26 years. She was then hired by the City of Wickliffe and worked in the Finance Department as a tax auditor When the city decided to use Rita for tax collections, Doris moved into the role of accounts payable and receivable clerk. She has served the city faithfully in the finance department for 21 years, and whereas Doris and her mother Emma love to travel around the United States to visit Native American festivals, Doris volunteered for years with the Native American Center in Cleveland, Ohio. Doris served the American Indian Education Center on the board of directors as the treasurer of the organization, and whereas Doris enjoys spending time with her significant other, Jim Deinholt, Doris and Jim have been together for 25 years and they enjoy traveling, antiquing, visiting flea markets, listening to music, and attending concerts and comedy clubs. Doris enjoys cooking and has significant cookbook collections containing hundreds of cookbooks. Doris's favorite holidays are Thanksgiving and Halloween, and whereas upon retirement, Doris looks forward to continuing to travel with Jim and enjoying all of her hobbies. Mayor?
Do we want to do it under suspension, so you can read it as part of the discussion?
Yes, there is suspension.
We'll vote on the suspension during discussion, you can read that. You see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want me to read it?
Suspension.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Hartstein, seconded by Councilman Thielman, to suspend the rules of council and place ordinance or resolution 2024-16 on third and final reading. Discussion? Mayor?
Okay. First, I would like to congratulate Doris Polzer on her retirement. Doris has served the city for 21 years, first as tax auditor and then accounts payable receivable clerk. We wish her the best in her retirement. Doris, you will be missed by many, and thank you for your hard work to the city.
I thought I was getting an Oscar. This is better. So, thank you. I want to thank everyone that I've worked for and that I've worked with, and also that it was a pleasure to work for the city for 21 years. Thank you, everybody.
Any further discussion on the suspension? Sandy, please call the roll.
Ballard.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski. Yes. Levon.
Yes.
Saloto. Yes. Seelman.
Yes.
Adoption.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Hartstein, seconded by Councilman Jaworski to adopt a resolution 2024-16 as presented. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Ballard.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski. Yes. Levon.
Yes.
Saloto. Yes. Seelman.
Yes.
Thank you. Reports and communications from the Mayor Safety Director.
Thank you, Council President. Good evening, everyone. For the crematory, first, I'm requesting that the crematory be put in the committee for discussion. This item was mentioned at the June 17th, 2024 meeting, the committee of the whole, where it was decided this topic should be discussed further in the fall. Leaf pickup. Leaf season began today and will continue throughout December, a little bit of December, they say the first, but all depending on the weather permitting. Residents should rake leaves to the curbs, not into the road. Make sure there are no sticks or branches in the piles. Small piles could be put into the Kimball bins or brown paper yard waste bags, as Kimball will pick up yard waste through December 15th. There is no yard waste pickup in January or February, but it will resume again March 1st. New appointments under new business tonight's agenda. You will find the appointment of a new member to the Civil Service Commission and the appointment of a new service director. Jeff Tershon's appointment to the Civil Service will be effective beginning this evening. Our service director, Ron Strauser, will be retiring November 30th after 37 years of service to the city of Wickliffe. And I'm going to be appointing Dave Krofchek as Ron's replacement effective December 1st. We posted the assistant service director position internally today. It is my hope to have someone in that position by November 18th, so they have some time to shadow Dave before he assumes his new position. And that's all I have, and I will also, when we get closer to the council meeting, I will give all the praises to Ron. So.
Any comments for the Mayor Safety Director? Thanks, Joe. Reports and communications from the mayor, or sorry, from the director of law.
Nothing to report.
Any questions or comments for the law director? Thank you, Jeremy. Communications from council president, I have none. Any amendments or additions to the agenda? Councilman Bala.
So new business, C, amend 2024-50 ordinance.
I'm sorry, 20,
Amend 2024-50 ordinance.
okay. Any other amendments or additions to the agenda? Okay. Move on to administrators. Police Chief Bush.
Thank you, Council President Levon. I have nothing further to add to my report.
Any questions or comments for the police chief? Thank you, Chief. Fire Chief Grossman.
Thank you, Council President. I have nothing to add to my submitted report.
Any questions or comments? Fire Chief. All right, thank you, Chief. Finance Director Hunter.
Thank you, Council President. December is now closed, and the general fund carryover balance is about $8.3 million. Temporary budget packets were given to everyone tonight. And then finally, although Therese just left, I just want to thank her for her 21 years of service. Therese is very dedicated. She had to call in sick, and she's like, I still have to come in and get my checks out. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I will figure it out. So I do want to thank her for that. And she has a very interesting sense of humor, which we miss. So we will miss Therese.
Are we ready to talk about temporary budget next Monday if I call a meeting?
Yes.
Any questions or comments for the Finance Director? Councilman Jaworski.
You mentioned the 8.3 currently in the general fund. How much do you foresee that being once we get any quarter left to go, but how much do you expect that to dip in the final quarter at this juncture?
I mean, it is still pretty early, but I'm expecting maybe 7.5. Please don't hold me to that, but that's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Any comments for the Finance Director? Thank you, Ms. Hunter. Engineer Formica.
Thank you, Council President. I have nothing to add to my written report.
Any questions or comments for the city engineer? Councilman Hartstein.
Mentioned before that you were working on the 2025 road project. Is 290th between the 84 and you on that
I
project?
will check. I do not have the list put together yet, but I will double check that. That is in need of some attention, that's for sure.
Service Director Strauss and I had talked about that section of road, especially the southbound side of that. Is it the southbound side around?
It'll be on there, but 300 is going to be in front of it. So that's also depending on the amount of money.
I know
the funds.
you and I had talked that some of the Euclid Avenue and 84 stretches were
Right.
extremely
I
bad.
agree, a lot of north-south, as Lincoln as well, but I don't want to attempt to do anything there until that,
Well, the developments.
goes, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I just
But
wanted,
300 is a priority for next year, so that one is the one made north-south thoroughfare that we want to attack first, and then probably that one will be second or even Rockefeller. So,
okay, thank you.
Pete, when we do a street, like a two-lane street, blacktop, asphalt, we're gonna call it, why don't we like tar the center of it? Because the center seems the first thing that splits, and a couple of years later, we have to tar that. If we do it right away, wouldn't it be cost effective?
I completely agree. There is over the last 4 years, we've been using a product called VRAM. It's the tar is underneath the top layer, and it gets drawn up in, I can talk for half an hour on this, so I won't want to bore everyone. But there is a specific project that we've been calling out in Wickliffe on all of our streets, and on our asphalt streets, and we've actually kind of broke the mold. We started doing this on, like I said, I can go on for an hour, but we are handling that situation with that void loss in the air void in that cold joint in the center. So there's no need to put tar on top of that. We're putting it underneath, and it's being drawn up by the heat of the asphalt. It's really cool.
Councilman Hartstein.
My question won't be that cool, Pete. We talked at the last meeting about the street light upgrades on those road projects this year, and you guys were gonna look into if those were in those projects. Any news on if those were?
They're not, but we're putting together numbers, and I actually just got the invoice finally for last year's projects. So that means once we pay the invoice, then they're gonna actually do the install for 19 lights, which is Rockefeller and the other two streets that we did last year.
Dennis?
Yeah, Dennis and Stanton,
Okay.
those three.
Any further questions or comments for the city engineer? Thank you, Pete. Service Director Strouser.
Thank you, Council President. Just wanted to bring up, we attended a meeting in Euclid about the sewer rates. The sewer rates are going up again in Euclid. They had proposed raising them in 2025, 14.5%, and then 7% in 2026. Their reasoning, they're actually getting caught up on costs, but their big reasoning is now they're trying to raise rates a little bit to raise some funds, because beginning in 2030, they're going to have to replace all the filter membrane trains, they're called, which they have a 10-year life expectancy at a cost of about $30 million. It'll be spread out over a few years. So they're trying to get a little bit ahead of the game, so they're not, going asking for $30 million all at the last. But we did urge them that 14% after another 14% last year, 25% the year before. Myself and the city of Wickliffe mayor were there, and we urged them to relook at that, and they did. And so they ended up coming up with a 3-year plan. And basically it's 8.9% they're going to ask for in 2025, so they dropped it from 14 down to 8.9. Then 26 they're going to ask for 9, and 27 they're going to ask for 9.3. So and that'll be committed now. At least we'll know what the raises are, which is definitely better that they spread it out a little bit for us. And so I actually want to thank them for to taking get that into consideration for us. The only other thing I have is with my pending retirement. I just want to say that Dave and Laura, Dave's on the list today to get recommended to be my replacement. I highly recommend him. Dave's a good guy. He stepped up to the plate. He's been in the position now for a little less than 2 years, but he really stepped up to the plate, especially when he found out that I was going to retire. He's been eager to learn from my job, and Laura as well too, which both of them are here tonight too. I want to acknowledge that they're both. So appreciate that. Should make the change much easier. That's all I have.
Any questions for the Service Director? Councilman Hartstein.
So Ron, with the 2 positions opening, I take it your department is now actively looking for employment to fill those vacancies?
Correct. Well, there'll only be one. If Dave gets appointed to mine, there'll be one position open. I believe they're going to advertise from within first and see if they find any qualified candidates. If not, the assistant may come from the outside. He hasn't committed to anything. But yes, eventually, if they do promote from within, there'll be another opening in the service department.
All right. And you're not shorthanded at all in your department?
You could always use more guys, but I'm happy with at least 20. That would be the bare minimum. I don't think we can go any less. We're never going to get back to the days of 32, but our department is in good shape right now, and the guys are getting a lot. And I'm happy with the production of the guys that we have.
Okay.
Councilman Jaworski.
Just to piggyback off, so if things play out like I think they may, and you end up hiring an assistant from within, that would then open up a position. Would that impact us in terms of snow removal come this winter?
If they have their CDL or not. We've been pretty fortunate hiring a couple guys with Class A CDLs. Actually, all they would have to have is Class B for snow removal. So, so as long as they can find somebody with that, okay, I think. So.
Okay. Thank you.
Any further questions or comments for the Service Director? Thank you, Ron. Building Commissioner Sack.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. I just have one comment. I talked to James Humling from Sunset Development. He has all this stuff from the county. He's waiting on final financing. He should be, breaking ground probably within 4 to 5 weeks. And that's all I have.
Any questions or comments for the Building Commissioner? Councilman Hartstein.
Ray, I talked to you about a month ago, house on Robert, that was the fire.
Yes.
Has there been any movement or improvement on the grounds at that house since last?
The grounds are okay. We're just waiting for him to put the rest of the new siding on the garage. We still have a substantial deposit of his, so.
I still get complaints from the residents that are the neighbors next about the pallets and the brush that are behind that garage. So can you, somebody do a maintenance on that, because
Yeah.
there's still debris behind that garage, pallets.
We'll take
All right, thank you, Ray.
Any further questions or comments from the building commissioner? Thank you, Ray. Recreation Director, stop.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. I have nothing to add to my written report.
Any questions or comments from Recreation Director? Councilwoman Kowski.
It's October.
Yes.
Do you do anything anymore?
We're going to be participating with the elementary school trunk or treat again this year. That's coming up the 23rd.
Is that being held at the schools?
At the school, at the school, yes.
Okay. And what are the hours, in case anyone wanted to know? You know?
It's 7 o'clock, but I'm not sure. I have to check the school's website on that. They're hosting it, so I'm
Okay.
not 100%
All right, so
sure.
if anyone wants to participate, they have to contact the school?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Councilman Hartstein.
Tim, I don't know if I should ask you this or Pete. Do you know when the dredging project is supposed to begin again at the golf course?
I called the contractor last Wednesday and left him a long message, and I haven't heard back from him. Well, I'll find out for the next meeting.
All right.
Schedule. I wanted to schedule, wanted to put it in my report. Unfortunately, I didn't get a hold of him.
Any further questions or comments for the Recreation Director? Thank you, Tim. I'll now open the floor for audience participation. If anyone would like to address Wickliffe City Council, please stand, state your name and address for the record. Since these meetings are being recorded, she has a microphone that needs to be used. Each person will have a 5-minute maximum amount of time. Would anyone like to address Wickliffe City Council? Ma'am?
Hi, Mary Acton, 30201 Regent Road. First of all, Ron, congratulations, but you are going to be missed.
Thank you.
The service department runs great. Dave, I'm sure it'll run the same. My second comment is, I watch the meetings on YouTube. I just can't make it to the meetings. It's very hard. And after working for a major hospital and being in meetings with hundreds of people, the snickering and the laughing that goes on when your constituent is talking is uncalled for. I think that Mr. Levon, can't remember your title, but
Council
I
President.
think you need to
That's
pay
fine.
attention to it and call it to order.
Okay.
That's all I have to say. And I'm shooting off to go watch the game.
Would anyone else like to address Wickliffe City Council? Would anyone else like to address Wickliffe City Council? If not, we'll audience participation closed. Committee reports. Councilwoman Kowski.
Wickliffe City Council Safety Committee meeting minutes of September 23rd. The meeting was called to order at 7 p.m. The purpose was ordinance 2022-18, section 1, 151.01, manpower ceiling, composition, and classification. A. Present, Hartstein, Jaworski, Kosky, Levon, Saloto, Thielman, excused, Bala. Also present, Chief Grossman, Building Commissioner Sack. The current fire department manpower ceiling is 23. Chief Grossman would like to raise it to 24. In 2001, the cap was 21. Doug Leovic worked for a 30-hour week as a Fire Prevention Bureau inspector and left for a full-time position in Beechwood. He did not have the ability to be used on shifts. Chief Grossman is looking to hire a firefighter paramedic for an annual cost of between $86,653 and $112,991. He said retirements are coming and new hires would come in at the rate the department is currently below in overtime because of using part-timers and minimal staffing. There's also $20,000 in carryover from Green Vision from 2023. Excess overtime would be used to help pay for a new hire. He is not asking for more money except for full-time salaries because of step increases. Captain Isom has stepped up, but annual inspections, training, and maintenance have been put on hold since Doug Leovic left the department. Chief Grossman wants a new hire to be a flex position to maintain staffing in case of prolonged injury or other absence. Recently, a couple of part-timers have left. He said the department is trying to keep up with planned review inspections. Tom wanted to know if the fire inspector position is admin and if everyone in the department is in the union. Chief Grossman said just full-time are in the union. He also said that captains are doing split roles to have continuity, I can't say, continuity, thank you, in shifts. Everybody know. A new full-time fire inspector would be 40 hours, and the job would include day-to-day inspections and fire extinguisher training. This position would not be on shift, but would fill in for day shift. The budget is out of overtime. Randy commented that wages are 15% higher than last year, and that council approved a part-time budget, but it is running high. Overtime is more in 24 than in 23 when the budget was cut last year. Overtime was still high. Right now, it is $200,000 and it was at $230,000 last year. Ed asked how often businesses are inspected. Chief Grossman stated that Green Vision and Green Ridge Hotel are visited more frequently than the other 800 businesses, but that visits should be quarterly. There are 188 inspections in 3 months before July. There are 2 people currently doing inspections, but they have not been able to keep up. Wickliffe primarily responded to complaints, high risk, and his primary focus was not on doing regular inspections. Chief Grossman wants to fill the overtime hole. He said he's changed management and is trying to forecast to become more efficient. Matt asked clarification on whether there is anyone that is a good fit or if there are retired possibilities to fill the position. Chief Grossman said that there are special certifications needed, including blueprint reading, and haven't been able to identify anyone yet. Leovic was in that role for 15 years. He did an outstanding job, but we need consistency. Lubrizol had not had a complete inspection for 12 years. It took 3 weeks to complete. Maria is in favor of trying, whereas Ed would rather it be a swing shift position and wanted to know if all cities have a fire inspector. Chief Grossman said Willoughby has someone in this position. Ed inquired as to whether Captain Isom is doing shift work. Chief said Captain Isom is working 40 hours to fill Leovic's responsibilities. Randy stated that the current ordinance says there's a manpower ceiling of 23 with unlimited part-time, and he's not in favor of raising the number of full-time personnel, and agreed with Randy. Ed says that we had increased manpower in 2018 in order to get a grant. At that time, we were told it would be eventually reduced again. Part-timers are increasingly more difficult to get, according to Chief Grossman. Tom wanted to know if a fire inspector is 40 hours, would that person also respond to a big emergency? He said the fire inspector would go as needed. Randy mentioned that we have the ability to help and give mutual aid way more than what we receive. In which the chief responded that he is concerned the level of care and helping our citizens is a priority. Tom is in favor of raising the manning level but wants regular reporting like I had asked from our city prosecutor in the past. He would like to know numbers and where inspections took place, and he would also like a robust fire department. Chief Grossman said he does get a monthly report from Captain Isom and will include it going forward. Ed would have liked to have had these reports months ago to justify the value and show that we need to spend this money. The chief said he is constantly evaluating resources and needs succession planning. He believes there's a need for better job succession planning, and he is not ready to add another firefighter at this time. Randy concluded that we are not telling you not to hire. You have the ability to hire without raising the ceiling according to the current ordinance. Meeting was adjourned at 7:59. Respectfully submitted.
Committee of the Whole met on September 30th, meeting called to order projects and senior zoning. Present, Gardstein, Jaworski, Koski, Levon, Saloto, Thielman, excused Bala. Also present, Building Commissioner Sack. Councilman Jaworski stated that the city has no mechanism that brings long-term projects back to the Planning Commission to make sure everything is following current or updated codes. He expressed that we need to set a specific timeline. Councilman Levon suggested that we could determine the timeline based on the size of the project, allowing more time for larger projects. Councilman Thielman suggested we allow 1 year from the start of the project and 18 months once the permit is pulled. Councilwoman Saloto agreed with Thielman. Building Commissioner Sack recommended we use either 18 months or 2 years. Residential projects could be 18 months and commercial projects could be 2 years. Councilwoman Kowski asked Sack if county had a timeline on their permits. Sack advised that if it was 18 months, but he doesn't believe that timeline is enforced. Councilman Hartstein suggested we could also increase the permit price if a project needed to come back to the Planning Commission for a second time. The committee recommends this item be put in the Legislation and Welfare Committee to review the ordinance and potential increase in permit prices for multiple Planning Commission appearances. This item is reported out of committee. Councilman Jaworski reminded that this committee that the city does not have senior zoning, which will need to apply to the new Sunset development on Euclid Avenue, as that area is currently zoned town center. A determination needs to be made regarding who will define the zoning, council or the Planning Commission. The committee recommends that the Planning Commission review senior zoning on the city and recommend their findings to council. This item is reported out of committee. Meeting adjourned at 8:21, respectfully submitted. I'll move senior zoning legislation, incomplete building projects to the Legislation and Welfare Committee. Per the mayor's request earlier, I'll move crematorium, add crematorium to the committee of the whole. And I'm going to call for a finance committee meeting on Monday, October 21st at 7 p.m. to discuss the 2025 temporary budget. Any other committee reports? Commission reports. Councilman Jaworski.
Planning Commission and the Architecture Review Board met on October 3rd. They had a request for a similar use in an industrial district to allow for the operation of warehousing located at 28801 Euclid Avenue in an industrial district. And essentially, there's a business coming into the old Palisades that will be warehousing items that will be sold online at an auction, and people will be coming to that facility to pick them up.
Thank you. Any other commission reports? Seeing no old business, move on to new business day. Mayor's appointment to Civil Service Commission.
Okay. Mark Eiffelis wished to retire/resign from the Civil Service Commission, and I am appointing Jeffrey Tershon to the Civil Service Commission to complete the unexpired term, which ends December 31st, 2029.
I'll make a motion to reaffirm the mayor's appointment of Jeffrey Tershon to the Civil Service Commission with an unexpired term to expire on, for a term to expire on December 31st, 2029.
Second.
Moved by Council President Levon, second by Councilman Hartstein, to reaffirm the mayor's appointment of Jeffrey Tershon to the Civil Service Commission with a term to expire on December 31st, 2029. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Balin.
Yes.
Gerhardsen.
Yes.
Jaworski. Soto.
Yes.
Service Director, Mayor.
So I've said a lot. Service Director Ron Strauser has announced he will be retiring November 30th, 2024. In order to transition, I am appointing Dave Krofcheck as the new Service Director. This appointment will be effective December 1st, 2024. And until then, Mr. Krofcheck will continue in his role as the Assistant Service Director. This week, the Assistant Service Director position will be posted internally to allow current employees to be considered for the position. The goal is to have both positions in place by December 1st, 2024.
I'll make a motion to reaffirm the mayor's appointment of David Krofcheck as the Assistant Service Director effective December 1st, 2024.
Second.
Moved by...
Service Director.
I said service, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I actually wrote that down as a Service Director for effective December 1st, 2024.
Second.
Moved by Council President Levon, second by Councilman Bala, to reaffirm the mayor's appointment of David Krofcheck as the Service Director effective December 1st, 2024. Discussion? Cindy, please call the roll.
Balin.
Yes.
Gerhardsen.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Yes.
Saloto. Yes. Thielman.
Yes.
New business C, amend 2024-50 ordinance. Councilman Bala.
Yeah, I just like to give my opinion on this, and hopefully we could maybe change it. You know, one of the biggest complaints in the Wickliffe for the past decade has always been Euclid Avenue. You know, empty buildings, probably not taken care of, et cetera, whatever it comes down to. We as council have been running elections or re-elections to try and let the residents know we are working on filling buildings, and this is a priority on Euclid Avenue. It seems that some council members are against recreational dispensaries after seeing that Wickliffe passed the legalization of it. So to say another dispensary, I think, is wrong. It's not representing the residents. It's been kind of making it a personal issue. Dispensaries are a safe place. To this date, we only have at the Botanist. Dispensaries bring jobs, fill buildings that were vacant, clean up properties, bring jobs, bring people into the city, and brings in about $200,000 a year. There's 2 police officers, possibly 2 firemen, a bunch of city workers, and it could also redo a street. We have to look sometimes beyond Lubrizol and get tax dollars where we can. Nothing drops in price. About a year ago, we looked at the internet gambling, and council was worried about the look it would bring. Well, about 60% of the Wickliffe residents don't even know that we even have them. This is a legal product that can be sold just like cigarettes and alcohol that is sold on almost every corner in the city. Gambling was illegal a few years ago, and now look at it. Ohio is one of the top gambling sites or gambling states. In a few weeks, if this is not a pass, I also would look at not charging some of the vacant building fees that we are saying no to for a year or maybe the next year, since we denied them for legal business in the city. I thought we were supposed to be more business friendly. And in 5 years from now, this won't even be a discussion because it's so accepted and so widely used in this country. Let's be ahead of the game and not let other cities profit from it, from a legal business. Let Wickliffe profit. I travel a lot, and these recreational marijuana places are all over the place. Strip malls, corners, beautiful, nice buildings. There's billboards everywhere. It's the future, and so again, some of us don't agree with it, but it brings money, people, and all this stuff to our city. I just think this ordinance should be amended to 2 dispensaries.
Just for clarification, Police Chief, that one incident, it was since it became adult use only, or is that one incident since it's opened at the Botanist?
Since it's opened.
Since it's opened, since 2018 or whatever?
Well, there's been more than one incident, but there's only been a couple since it's been opened.
Okay.
Yeah, we do not have problems there.
Well, I understand that, but I thought you had said that at one point in the meeting that it was once since we went to adult use only, but that was, just want a correction on that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this, we don't act as soon as possible, but we get it and we will not get it, because all the licenses we take it up. I just think it's a big mistake.
I think that we don't have an idea what the state's rules are gonna be yet either, right? I mean,
Right.
has that been truly defined?
Well, we have it on the reading, they only have 1. Why
Correct.
can't we just make it 2, so we're ahead of the game?
We can ask, I mean, Mayor, go ahead.
Well, my suggestion, I know I spoke with Councilman Thielman about this, is maybe not just 2 on Euclid Avenue. What if we were to allow one like in another part of the city, maybe a light industrial or over on Anderson or Clayton, something, you know, off of the Tom, I don't know if you remember that conversation, but you know, would somebody be opposed to that? Because the thing is my phone raised. We keep getting calls for people that want to come here for that. I understand it might be taboo or, you know, some people morally, but at the end of the day, we're not here to parent. We're not here for morals. We're here to provide business growth to this community. So, I mean, that's just my stance on it. I'm not saying have 15 of them, but I don't think 2 would harm the city.
Councilwoman Saloto?
I agree. So, you know, first of all, I think it has become a very acceptable, you know, thing today. I mean, whether all of us agree with that or not doesn't mean that that is not the case. So I think one has been very respectable in the city. They've been a great business, and it's a good looking too. And they pay taxes, and they're, you know, very law abiding and whatever. So I'm thinking, why would we limit it to just that one? When we do have, you know, even we have some, you know, Wickliffe, like residents who are interested in opening, you know, more, or at least one more. So I think we need to think about more than one. I think it also, you know, offers a safe place for people to buy something too. I mean, it's a regulated, safe place to purchase it, which I don't think would be a bad thing either. So I think one is too little, and maybe two's the right number, I don't know. But I think we need to discuss it more in committee, to be honest, because we weren't all there, and we weren't able to really kind of discuss it and, you know, even talk about it with the citizens, so.
I agree. As somebody that was at the meeting, I'm not even fully confident it'll pass with one. So my suggestion was to pass it with one, and we can revisit it later on. 2 months down the road, people are okay with it, to add a second one to modify it. Do that, then fight over one or two, or put it back in committee. That was my idea during the committee meeting. I know you guys, Councilman Bala and Councilman Slaughter, weren't here, but I'd like to see it pass. I think there's definitely health benefits and benefits to having a dispensary. I think it is profitable. I don't think it's something that is a blight on the city at all. So I want to start with one, and then we can revisit 2 or 3 months down the road and potentially amend that ordinance. Because I'm still not confident that there's 4 council people that'll vote for at least one. That's why I suggested that.
So why do we wait 2 or 3 months? That's the question. Are we gonna wait them 6 months, longer? If we can get 2 done, that'd be awesome. Yeah, well, let's stay ahead of the game.
What if we amend it to 2 and it gets voted down? And then we have to redo this again, just like we did the arcades. We had it at 3, and then people decided, no, that wasn't enough. Then we went back and decided that we'd do it for 2, when we could have amended it then, go down 1. So that was my fear, and this is why I thought, well, at least we have one in the city. Let's make it official. We're allowing one. People can see. I think I think a couple more months, people will see that the botanist is good, and it's not a bad thing, right? And I think we get more structure from the state on where people can go. I think if a second person applies, and they say, hey, nobody within a mile range, then we can't have a third on Euclid Avenue or something along those lines, right? Because I don't want it to be a mad rush and all of a sudden 5 different buildings want to have one, and then only one gets it, right? What does that do for those business or building owners, right? To put all that effort into it and nothing happens. So we really don't know. It's still the Wild West as far as the Ohio's structure on what they're going to do with adult use recreational marijuana. Councilman Gerhardstein.
I will be the one that you're talking about. I will vote for 1. I will vote no on 2. So if you're questioning that, I'm going to go along with 1 vote, but I will vote no on 2.
I wasn't specifying you. I mean,
well, I'm just saying, I'll be...
If you want to speak on your own, but I'm saying the majority.
I'll get it out in the open. I'll vote for 1. I'll vote no on 2. I'm sure, I mean, Councilman Thielman was pretty adamant on voting no on... He wanted 0, so, I mean, the ones that were in the committee, you were right, the ones that were in the committee meeting, Councilman Bell and Councilman Slaughter were in the committee meeting, so they weren't here to hear how heated the conversation got, so we all, the ones that were in the committee meeting, know how the committee members were voting, so I'll vote. I was convinced on 1, but if it goes to anything higher than 1, I'll vote no.
Yes, I'm still not unsure of the majority will vote for 1. That's why I was starting with 1.
It's just hard to believe that, you know, it's a legal product and we're not letting them come into our city to sell it.
I mean,
it's just shocking to me, actually. And when the residents, 60% voted to legalize it. So what you're doing is not voting.
That's exactly why I voted for 1, Jim, because I'm the one, I actually brought that up in the committee meeting, that the reason I voted for 1, Jim, if you were at the committee meeting, the reason I voted for 1 was because the residents of the city of Wickliffe approved that vote by over 1,000 people voted. That's why I voted for 1, Jim.
So why not 2?
Because I was going to vote for none until I pulled the vote, Jim, of the residents, and they want it legal. So I'm going to vote for 1, Jim.
Okay.
Councilwoman Koski.
You know, it's unfortunate that everyone was able to attend or chose not to attend the meeting. And I would think that, I don't know, there would be notes that would have been available for everyone to read about the meeting.
There was meeting minutes that were read. I read 2 pages of that meeting at the last meeting, and the people that didn't make it were out of time for work. They didn't choose not to attend. I know, but I understand. But I read meeting minutes at the last council meeting. It was 2 pages long. I thought I had all the notes in there, right? And then it included ones that were posted included the email Councilwoman Saloto and Councilman Bala.
Right.
That were not read.
We're not allowed to read emails at a meeting. That's why we posted it along with the meeting minutes. But yeah, posting that what your opinions were. That's so anybody else in the public could see that what you guys had stated. But that's why I chose one. It was just I think that we need to make sure the botanist gets in and it's all good. Again, I'm not highly confident 4 people will vote for one yet at this point. Based on that committee meeting, I was not 100% confident. Councilman Thielman.
Yeah. I just want to clarify how the minutes said that I was against, which I was okay with 1. The reason I'm okay with the 1 because they are legally here as a medical use facility. And by sure luck, they get an adult use permit. And we did not ban the adult use for that facility to start selling. So I feel it's unfair to them to go backwards and say, well, now you can't do adult use. So that's why I said I'm okay with, status quo. I did speak with the mayor about other possibilities, looking at maybe adult use, medical marijuana in other zoning districts, maybe restricting them to commercial areas or somewhere, as the mayor spoke, somewhere off the beaten path, like the one in Painesville Township on Blackbrook Road. It's kind of back in an industrial area. You don't really see it. It's not on the main drag. Plenty of people go to it, can find it, but it's just not kind of like right on the main drag of your city where you're trying to turn it into something better. So, as this is going to be presented, I was going to vote yes on this current ordinance, so just to let everybody know. But I'll go on.
You still have the floor. So
right.
yes.
If 2 is good, why not 4? Why not 5? Why not 10? We don't know what the rules are yet even. So that's just it. They have not structured what adult use, how they're going to get their licenses, who's going to be awarded first. I know we have 2 groups, maybe more, looking to get that first license, but it hasn't happened yet. We don't even know what the rules are surrounding those licenses. So,
Mayor.
Okay. I'm sorry that, yes, to me, this is apples to apples. Alcohol was illegal. Alcohol is legal. I'm trying not to get emotional. Things have happened to people I know and their family members as a result of alcohol. We have 15, maybe even more places you could purchase alcohol, consume alcohol, more problems. I'm not on no bandwagon. I'm all for business. I'm out to support them. I was as much as I can, and I'm just not understanding, I guess, the whole. It's legal in the state of Ohio. The Wickliffe voters have passed it, and I just don't understand the limit. I guess you could purchase alcohol anywhere. You could go purchase lottery tickets, gamble anywhere. You could purchase cigarettes anywhere in this city. But when it comes to weed, we're going to handcuff it. So I don't know. Is it because it was drugs? And I'm just not understanding that. But I'm sorry. I just wanted to get that statement out there. It just bothers me. That's all.
Councilman Hartstein?
Well, that's why everybody sort of have their own opinion there. You can pound the desk all you want. You can sit there and pound the desk. Everybody's allowed to have your own opinion.
Right, but we're not here to parent, Randy.
I'm saying, you're allowed to have your own opinion.
Thank you. Yes, I do.
So am I.
Understood.
Councilman Jaworski?
Just for clarification, Mr. Mayor, you specifically mentioned what I'm assuming would be, because there is no specific address, a commercial manufacturing sector or industrial sector. It's my understanding of our zoning code that we could not allow retail into those areas. I'll defer to the law director on that.
We would have to make an adjustment to allow for, because it is considered a retail establishment, I believe.
But then that gets into the whole spot zoning thing, which we've discussed in planning commission many times.
So, yeah, there's a lot of moving parts to doing something like that. Because the state law on marijuana allows you to designate certain numbers in certain places, I'm sure would allow us to work something like that. But yeah, it would require doing some other potential changes in addition to this ordinance.
Any discussion on this? Okay. Move on to ordinances.
Ordinance number 2024-50, an ordinance amending Chapter 748 entitled Medical Marijuana Licensure of the Codified Ordinance of the City of Wickliffe, Ohio. This is the first reading. Ordinance number 2024-51, an ordinance confirming the appointment of David Krofcheck as Director of Public Service of the City of Wickliffe, Ohio, and authorizing compensation therefore and declaring an emergency.
Suspension.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Hartstein, second by Councilman Thielman, to suspend the rules of council and place ordinance 2024-51 on third and final reading. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Kayla. Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Saloto. Yes. Thielman.
Yes.
Adoption.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Hartstein, second by Councilman Thielman, to adopt ordinance 2024-51 as presented. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Kayla.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Saloto. Yes. Thielman.
Yes.
Ordinance passes. Resolutions?
Resolution number 2024-13. This is the second reading. A resolution requesting the Lake County, Ohio Auditor to make advance payments of taxes. Resolution number 2024-14. A resolution authorizing the mayor of the city of Wickliffe, Ohio to submit an application to the District 7 Public Works Committee and the Ohio Public Works Commission for funding for the Parkwood Drive and Cary Lane water main and pavement improvements and declaring an emergency.
Suspension.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Saloto, seconded by Councilman Ballard, to suspend the rules of council and place resolution 2024-14 on third and final reading. Discussion? Councilman.
Pete, when is the deadline for this project to be submitted?
We've submitted preliminary applications in the spring. The final applications are due next week. This particular resolution for Park and Cary Lane is a contingency application. We did not make it up. We're just below the line on this one, so we're putting in our application in case there's some funding available through the county. I spoke with the county the other day, and they suggested that we put it in. Possibly we could get some funding out of it. The other one we're in, we have the amount of points to we've secured the funding. But for this one, it's just a if come.
Thank you.
To follow up on that, what is the estimated cost of repairs of the Parkwood?
The total project cost is $1.3 million. We asked for a $527,000 grant and a $150,000 interest-free loan for this particular resolution.
Thank you.
Which is 50% of the project cost.
Understand. Any further discussion on the suspension? Sandy, please call the roll.
Bell.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Saloto. Yes. Thielman.
Yes.
Adoption.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Hartstein, seconded by Councilman Jaworski, to adopt resolution 2024-14 as presented. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Bell.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Saloto. Yes. Thielman.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution number 2024-15, a resolution authorizing the mayor of the city of Wickliffe, Ohio to submit an application to the District 7 Public Works Committee and the Ohio Public Works Commission for funding for the 2025 concrete pavement slab replacement program and declaring an emergency.
Suspension.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Saloto, seconded by Councilman Ballard, to suspend the rules of council and place resolution 2024-15 on third and final reading. Discussion? Pete, same question for you. What is the plan, or as far as how much money we put in this slab?
So on this one, we've requested a grant for 45% project cost, and which is $99,900. So we've got, we should be getting a grant for that amount. There's zero loan in that, and the rest of the project would be city share.
Thank you. Any further discussion on the suspension?
What's the total?
Councilwoman Saloto, go ahead.
I'm sorry, what's the total cost on that?
Total cost would be $224,000.
Any further discussion on the suspension? Sandy, please call the roll.
Ballard.
Yes.
Mayor Hartstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Saloto.
Yes.
Thielman.
Yes.
Adoption.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerhardt, Councilman Bella, to adopt resolution 2024-15 as presented. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Ballard.
Yes.
Mayor Hartstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Saloto.
Yes.
Thielman.
Yes.
Resolution passes. Other legislation? Miscellaneous? Councilman Jaworski.
Thank you, Mr. Councilman. I forgot to ask this, was looking over my notes. There was an email a while back pertaining to Bitcoin machines in the city and the legality of those, and I believe that we were still waiting on some information for that. Do you know if we're going to be getting that anytime soon, Chief?
Still looking into it.
Okay.
It's